back in 2020, the MP John Penrose was commissioned by then-Chancellor Rishi Sunak to write an independent report on how the United Kingdom's approach to competition and consumer issues could be boosted following Brexit. It resulted in a host of policy proposals for the government to implement. But 18 months on, only half of these ideas have either been done or committed to so far. After the reforming zeal of the Truss administration, has this new government come to a juddering halt when it comes to supply-side reform? Is that reforming zeal of the Brexit revolution over? Or could this government take on this challenge after all? Well, I'm delighted to be able to speak now to John Penrose, the MP for Weston-super-Mare, who has, of course, carried out this report back in 2020. You've done an update now. You're calling it unfinished revolution because so many of these recommendations haven't been taken on. What's your assessment in terms of whether or not the government is willing to look at doing perhaps some of the harder kind of reform work to get this country moving?
Well, Tom, absolutely right. It is a crucial question. And I think the auguries are good, the signs are good, because it was, as you said in your introduction, it was Rishi Sunak who asked me to do the original report when he was Chancellor of the Exchequer. Now he's in number 10 Downing Street. He ought to be perfectly positioned to take the rest of it forward. So I have my fingers firmly crossed. But the proof of the pudding will be in the eating. It's a question of what he's going to do. You know, we've had the first 6 weeks or so, and he's managed to steady the ship. That's great. Now's the time to get radical. Now's the time to use that stability, and particularly because the supply side reforms, the things that unblock the arteries of Britain's economy, they don't cost very much money. They are, sorry about the cat, they don't cost very much money, and at the moment money is scarce, and that means that it's one of the obvious things to do.
Today, looking at the Edinburgh reforms that the Chancellor will be announcing, these are things that aren't going to cost any money at all, but could free up a lot of money to be invested in our country. Is that a sign of things to come?
Well, I hope so, and it's a really good example of precisely the kind of reform that we need to have. So I'm really pleased to see it. I mean, obviously, the devil will be in the detail. We'll have to make sure that it pays off. But the good thing about it is, if that is the first of many, then that's exactly what we want to see. But we need to see those Edinburgh reforms happening not just in the financial services sector, but in dozens of other sectors across the rest of our country too, whatever the versions are for energy or for water or for anything else. We've got to see all those equivalents happening as well. And that's what we need to see being rolled out in different sectors over the course of the next few months.